Okay, perfect. All right, so here's what we're doing today. I want to continue on with sets idea just one more time. Talk about what sets are. Then we're going to go into more of those examples of algebraic expressions. Get you guys back to familiarity with some of those. Some of you might think it's super easy. That's great. I'm hoping so. It's just one of those things. It's nice to review some Algebra 1 facts again. Just so we're all on the same page. We start out nice and slow, so you're not like overwhelmed the first couple days. This will seem pretty easy, I'm hoping. And then we'll kind of ramp it up real quick. Today, when we get to homework today, I'll put it up on the board and all that good stuff. It's just an assignment. It'll be due on Monday, so you got a couple days to work on it. I do want to check book covers for the first time today. If you have a book cover on it, if you don't, I'm checking it tomorrow as well. So you got a 2-day kind of grace period. So I'll check those when we get to the homework part today. I'll just say your name, and all you have to do is show me the book. That's all I have to see. All right, so let's get jumping right in. So let's talk about sets one more time. So sets are lists of numbers in a particular order. It's kind of almost like a sequence, but there's different ways of writing. There's roster method, that's the notation of writing it, where you go least to greatest, you put commas. And then the other way of writing it would be a set builder notation, where you go like for all of X such that, and then you put little curly braces. Now, what I want to discuss is that idea of unions and intersections one more time, because you're going to have, 1% of your problems are sets. They want to get you used to, like, can you look at a problem and figure out what are all the different options for your homework for this particular answer. So they're going to start off easy on this assignment. So it could be something like this, where they give you a set 1, 3, 5, 7, and they're going to do a union of 1, 2, 3, 8, and 20. And this is a union. How do I know that? It has a little U in front of it, in between them. So these are two sets. Maybe you're doing two sets of problems and you're trying to figure out answers that work. Now, what do we remember about a union? What do you remember from yesterday? Throw it out there.
There's like all the numbers that are so
Yep.
you write down like 1,
Yep.
2,
Yep.
3,
1, 2, 3,
5, 10.
5, 7, 8, and what, 20? That is the answer I'm looking for. A union is all of the numbers that they share and just the different numbers you see. So they obviously had ones. They both had ones, so I just list one. One of them had a 2, the other one had 3. Actually, they both had 3s. They had a 5, a 7, an 8, and a 20. A union is all the different numbers you can see. So it doesn't matter if they had them or not, you list all of them. You don't need to put repeating numbers in there. You're just listing out the numbers that you saw that were in there. The full range of answers. Does that make sense what a union is? Okay. Even if it's numbers, letters, symbols, whatever's in there, you use it. Because I know that one of the problems they're going to put alphabetical letters in here. Just list off the alphabet, whatever it is. But that's a union, because that's got a U in between. Now, if it's an intersection, of those, so I'll make another example over here. So, let's see, we have a curly brace. I'm going to go 1, 3, 5, 7. Ooh, that's a terrible 7. Had a stroke in the middle of doing that one. Oh my gosh. Intersections. 1, 2, 3, 8, and 20. Okay, so now the intersection is the N. Intersection. So now we're looking for numbers that they have in common. What do they share? 1 and 3. That's it. That's the only numbers that they share. That'd be your answer. This is what I'm looking for the intersection. If they don't share anything, then that's the empty set, the circle with that dashed line through it. So if they don't share anything. It doesn't have to be in any particular order. They don't have to be in the same spots, just whatever they share. Okay, questions with those two? And that pretty much covers the intersection sets. Now, why bring up sets? The real numbers, the numbers that we use in this class. Real numbers can be natural numbers, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no decimals, whole numbers. We have whole numbers, which is 0, 1, 2, 3. We have integers, which are negative numbers, so -1, -2, -3, plus all the rest. And then we have rational numbers, which are decimals, irrational numbers, which are numbers that do not terminate or end or repeat, like pi. So those numbers are all sets. When you put them all together, you do a union of all of them, right? You combine all those different sets together, that makes the entire number line. So that's why it's important. It is, these do come up and they make realistic things. A lot of people don't realize, like the irrational numbers like pi and stuff, there's more irrational numbers than all the rest of them combined, than rational integers. And you're thinking, Lord, how do you compare infinity versus infinity? But these numbers fill the gaps between whole numbers and decimals that we know. So there's a lot more irrational numbers than anything else. So that's why it's an important thing. It's called the completeness property in mathematics. It's a big thing. Like these are huge when you get to like the upper level conceptual math classes, like an abstract algebra in college, or a geometry, or differential equations. There's pretty high level mathematics, and this is a big part of it. So don't feel like this is just some weird, stupid little thing that we do. It's got some significant importance in mathematics. Okay, before I move on, I know I talk a lot and talk really fast. Is there any questions you have personally with these two that you're not understanding, or maybe a different example you'd like to see? Okay, good. All right, let's move on to the next stuff. Let's move on to the stuff that you're going to spend 99% of your time in the homework on. It's going to be algebraic expressions or numerical expressions, just something that you can simplify, evaluate. There's really not a lot of solving today. I don't think there's any equations in your problems. They're mostly just numerical expressions. You know, they have a bunch of numbers they want you to simplify, or they have a bunch of algebraic stuff that you need to simplify as much as possible and do the best you can. So I'm going to throw out a couple examples here that look kind of like your homework today. If we get to a point where you're like, I think we got it, I think we're comfortable, I'll turn you loose on it. So let's start with the first one here. Let's go with a -2 plus 3 bracket 5 minus 4 plus 2. Okay, let's start with this. This is just one example of something you're going to see today, where they're going to have brackets, they're going to have parentheses, they're going to have different operations in them. I just want to talk about the pitfalls that you have when you look at this problem. What are the mistakes people will make and all that good stuff. If you can't see this, let me know. I'll try to make it a little bit better. All right, so what's your instinct when you first look at the problem? What do we want to do?
4 plus 2.
That's all right. 4 plus 2. Now why? Let's talk about why. Yeah, you nailed it. PEMDAS, the order of operations, right? We have this little order of operations that we have. They teach you in elementary school. I think my little acronym that my teacher always said was, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or something like that. It's the order of operations we have for expressions only. So if you need to make a little note, this is for expressions. It's how everyone simplifies them so that everyone gets the same answer as your neighbor next to you. And you're thinking, well, how did somebody get a different answer? Well, think about it this way. I'll just give you a quick example. Just real fast, like that little stupid little problem over there, right? If you did it out of order and you didn't know that there's an actual order of operations, you could get 70. Because you go 2 plus 5, which is 7, times 10, which is 70, which is not the right answer. But by having this little order, it guarantees that everyone gets the same answer as your neighbor next to you. That you have to look for parentheses. There is none. You have to look for exponents. There is none. You look for multiplying or dividing. These go together, by the way. Multiplying and dividing are the same operation. You look for multiplying and dividing. Well, I do have that. That's 50. Right? Then you look for adding and subtracting, because adding and subtracting are the same thing. And then you'd add, and so your real answer is 52. That's how calculators are pre-programmed. So it's this order that we just accepted in mathematics so that everyone gets the same answer as the person next to them. But you're absolutely right. When we come back to this problem, the main problem of the day, you have to do the parentheses first. So when I started the checklist, I look for parentheses. I have 2 sets of parentheses. I have the brackets, I go inside the bracket, and there's another set of brackets, like parentheses. So I have to do that first. 4 plus 2, 6. Now notice, when you do the math inside of it, it goes away. As long as there's nothing outside of that parenthesis. There was a negative sign. Fine. So now, the next part, 5 minus 6, because I still have to stick with the parenthesis. 5 minus 6, what is that, -1? Now notice, I'm leaving the parenthesis there, or bracket, because, like I was just saying a little bit ago, there was a number outside of it. What do you have to do with the number on the outside?
Times it.
Yeah, you have to multiply it. That's the same problem you just did over there. You had to multiply first. 3 times a negative 1, well, that's negative 3. And you add these two together last, because adding and subtracting is last, and you get negative 5. Now, where do you see the pitfall will happen? Where will somebody make a mistake on this problem? Because I see it every time.
Before they multiply the 1, they add the 2 and the 3.
Yeah. This is the number one mistake I see people make. They'll start the problem by going, oh, negative 2 plus 3, that's a 1. No, because you just jumped out of order. You're the person that said 70 and not 52. Because you have to follow the order of operations. You have to multiply first. This is multiplying. You have to multiply before you can ever add and subtract. That's the little pitfalls people fall into. Because you go too fast, right? You know the math. You know it. You know, for math. This is easy. But you get going too quick and you don't realize, oh my goodness, I did do it out of order. So, okay, questions with that basic problem? That's it. That's what I was looking for. Now, you're going to have these types of problems today. Now, they may not look exactly like that. That's a numerical expression. It might have letters in it. So, fine. We still stick with the same process. Now, no matter what your problem is. So maybe it's 4x plus 7y times 3 minus 2 of x. Fine. You do what you can. If you can't do anything, you move on to the next step. Like on that problem, and I'm not telling you x, y, or whatever letter it is. Sometimes they will have that problem and we'll do that one next. If I had to start that problem, what do you have to do first?
Take everything times.
Yeah, the parentheses, if you can. Can I take 3 minus 2x? No. So then what?
You take 3 and negative 2x times 7.
Yeah, exactly. You take both of these. That's distribution. Distribution, the property of distribution, is not the fact that you're taking 7 times 3 and the 7 times the 2. It's the simple fact that you handed the 7y to both of them. It's like your mailman delivers the mail, they distribute the mail. They didn't actually open it. So the distribution step is you actually take 7y times 3. And then you take the 7y times the 2x. But you don't actually have to write it. Now, am I going to be that particular? No. You could probably do it in your head in 10 seconds. But that's distribution, just so you know. It's the fact that I handed 7y to both of them. If you want to just skip the step and go to the next one, fine and dandy, you do you. I just want to see that you're showing me something at some point. That you're not just getting down to your final answer, and I don't know how you got there. Right? So, if you want to write this as 21y and 14xy, perfect. Is there anything more I can do on that problem? Bless you. No, that's it. It's done. And now you're thinking, Lord, well, there's a couple x's there. Yeah, but one of them has an xy. That's a different variable now. That's it. That's all you can do. You're done. Move on to the next problem. Now, that seems pretty straightforward. I'm not going to have any weird exponent things on those problems where, they have x squares and y squares. That's coming up in the later chapters. Later sections, I should say, not chapters, where we review the laws of exponents, how you multiply x's together when there's different powers and all that good stuff. That comes later. But just simple stuff. Can you combine like terms? Do you know how to add x's? Do you know how to add and subtract y's? That type of thing. That's in this section. Okay, question with that one. Okay, I only have one more problem. That's all I have. And one more, unless you have questions. Okay. The last one that I have, I'm going to stick with that problem. I'm going to stick with that one. Okay? So I'm going to write that back up on the board. Because you're going to have a couple where you just have to simplify as far as you can. You can't really go any further than that. But there is a problem in the book. I'm going to put this. I'm going to slightly modify the problem. Is that a 3? That was a 3, not a 2. Go to the 4th power. X is a 1, y is a 5. Now this problem is different. Now it's not just an algebraic expression with the numbers and variables. This now became a numerical expression because I can substitute the x and the y in and then do the problem like that. I would just do it by the simple algebra. I would not attempt this problem by doing it like that and then plugging them in later. I would never do that. Especially if they gave me the numbers, plug them in and do all the simple stuff first. So I would definitely go, okay, this is 4 times 1, this is 7 times 5, times the 3 minus 2 times 1, all to the 4th power. Right? I would definitely write that down and then just do the simple math. What do I have to do on this problem first?
So inside the parentheses.
Inside the parentheses. You gotta do the parentheses first, right? I know there's a couple parentheses, but there's only one of them that actually has math to be done inside. This is the part that I need to start with first. What do we do?
Take 2 times 1.
2 times 1. Because you got to, inside that parenthesis, you start over with the order of operations. Is there any more parentheses? No, not really. Is there any exponents? No. Is there any multiplying by? Yeah, there's multiplying. 2 times 1, that's 2. Because I'm doing all the math inside the parenthesis, and once that parenthesis is done, then you're outside, and then you continue on with the order of operations again. So I'm still inside that parenthesis, right? I still have to go 3 minus 2. Well, that's 1. You have to stick with it until you finish it. Now, what's the next step that I have to do?
Exponent.
Exponent. Because I finished the parenthesis, right? The parenthesis that had math in it, done. I have to go to exponent next. You have to do the exponent. 1 to the 4th power. And just the 1 has the 4th, not the others. If the others had 4s, there would be 4s on them, or there would be massive parentheses and 4 going to everything. But 1 to the 4th power, that's 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, still 1. Times 5, times 7, plus the 4 times the 1. And now you can do your multiplying and adding last. Okay. I'll finish it here in a second. Did I lose anybody at any point? Is there any questions? Okay, now obviously we're done with parentheses. We just have to multiply or divide. Well, I have 35 in the back. I had a 4 in the front, and then I can add them together, and so your final answer is 39. Okay, these are the types of problems you're going to be given today. I want to get you kind of familiar with just basic operations. You would not believe how many mistakes are made later on down the chapters just because people tend to forget like this is still a thing. We get into such high-level mathematics later in the book that you're like, oh my god, I make mistakes on the stupid algebra 1 stuff. At this moment, you're probably thinking, Ward, we don't need to cover this. This is stupid and easy. You'll still make mistakes on it later because you forget we still have to follow these orders every time, every math round. Okay, do we understand? Okay, now I'm going to give you your math, your homework, right? This assignment is due on Monday. Now, here's the thing I want to preface. Okay, I'm going to put it right here in the middle of the board. All right, when you do your assignment, put on a sheet of paper, right? So here's your sheet of paper. You need to have your name on it. You need to have the page and all that good stuff, the numbers on it. You need the date. I don't care what date. I don't care if you start this Sunday night, because I know I'm a realist and I understand people do that. If you're going to do it Sunday night, just put Sunday's date on it. It doesn't make a difference. I just need a date on there so I know kind of what day this was roughly around, and then I need to know your period. So you guys are period 3, right? So I need to see that stuff on the top of the paper. If you can make it fit, you can put it kind of anywhere, but it just needs to be on the top somewhere, just so, because I always have that policy that you can turn in homework at any point during the day. All right, you have a study hall at some point, you don't need to knock, just walk in, go put it in the back basket. And if I know your period 3, I can get it to the right spot and then I can grade it later. I just need to see that type of stuff. Don't forget that stuff. It becomes a pain in the butt when I don't know what page number you're doing and I have to go search what problems they were again and figure out what numbers. So just make sure that's on top of every homework assignment if we do them. But here's your page. It's page 15. I kind of jump around a little bit. You're going to do number 5, number 10, number 16, 21 through 23, 29 through 31, 86 through 96, the evens on that part, and then 114, 115. I jumped around a lot, and you're probably thinking, good God, there's 115. I think there's 165 questions in this first section. You're going to find that this book has just a massive amount of problems everywhere. It really reminds me of my Calc 1 textbook. When I was in high school, my Calc 1 textbook had like 250 questions every section. So, and the teacher just does all of them all the time. Drove me nuts. Okay, when is this due? Monday. Now, I know we got like 4 or 5 minutes left, so you can hopefully get this stuff written down. I'm gonna ask for your name and I wanna see your book. If you don't have your book cover today, fine, dandy, I'm checking it tomorrow too. So don't feel like you're gonna miss out. So, all right, all I need to see is the book. So, Avery, what do you got? You got a book cover? Oh yeah, okay, check. Kylie, got a book cover, yep. Abby, got a book cover? Oh yeah, oh you're good. Okay, Paige, you got a book cover? Oh yeah. Evan? Oh yeah. Courtney? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jada?
I left it in my locker.
Good, you can get it to me tomorrow. Kennedy? Got a book? Okay, that's fine. Bailey? Got a book cover? Oh yeah. Hannah? Oh yeah. Brett?
Locker.
Locker, that's fine. I'll see you tomorrow. Cole? Oh yeah, look at that. Ashton? Oh yeah. Jalen? Oh yeah. Zach? Oh yeah. Marlena? Oh yeah. Brett? Nope, it's fine. See you tomorrow. Emma? Okay, so for those select few, you're fine. Just, I want to see you tomorrow. So make sure you have a book with the book cover on it tomorrow, okay? You don't want to miss out points. You do not want to have a 0 going into this weekend. Your parents see that you're already failing pre-calc day 1. Because it will say 0 in the grade book and it will say F. So get a book cover. Let me see that book tomorrow, okay? But you're good. You're not losing points, so just, I need to see it tomorrow, okay? Homework due Monday. I'll put it up on the board here, so it'll be on the board later today if you forget. You can take a picture of it. I don't care if you tech savvy enough, you can take a picture of that. So that way you have it somewhere. But make sure you get it written down. I hate getting emails Sunday night at 11:30 at night. Hey Ward, I forgot to write down the assignment. What is it? It's Sunday night at 11:30. Come on. So,
Yeah, I usually call attention to it. We're actually probably be in school full day tomorrow.
yeah, I'm expecting a full day tomorrow. It's supposed to be
It's like
significantly
85.
cooler tomorrow. Yeah.
Is it raining?
Hmm?
Is it raining?
Oh, is it?
I think so.
You guys have football game tomorrow? Yeah. I find it so weird we only have 2 home football games this year. Is it like a half season? Is that what they're doing?
Or have 7 games.
7 games. Yeah. I was gonna say, it just seems so weird that we don't.
Still, 2 is not very good.
Don't
No,
make it straight
it seems like
playoffs.
nothing, and it's so weird.
And they're
'Cause-
also all of our, the closest game is like St. Ansgar, isn't it?
No, it's
Well,
Brett.
But Brett doesn't count.
What's this week? What do you got?
Brett.
It's Brett.
Brett.
Oh, okay, well, all right, there you go, there's the Friday night. So, it's Brit week. And volleyball tonight, here at home, is it Brit too?
No, it's North Iowa.
All right. All right,
And then our next game is home. St. Ansgar home.
okay.
Home?
Yeah.
It's away, that's away. I'll go with that.
I think our only 2 home
Homecoming and
games are
senior night.
homecoming and senior night, which is at the end of the season.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought St. Ansgar was home.
nope, it's away. It's the closest away game.
Yikes.
Aw.
Shoot, I thought it was home.
Cherokee's like 2 hours and 20 minutes. Yeah.
You say Turkey Valley?
Cherokee.
Oh, sure. Turkey Valley. They like different. 4, right?
We
You missed a
play
spot.
Cherokee, Okoboji, Spirit Lake.
You'll see.
Thank you. I'm still recording myself. I'm gonna